Welcome to the Tennis Mini, a review of every round of the US Open. Coming up, Daniil Medvedev. Excuse me, mate. Could you just wait until the end of the intro? We're recording here.
Replay point.
First serve, great. Welcome to the Tennis Mini, a wrap at the end of each round of the US Open. Coming up, Daniil Medvedev fell victim to a Bonzi scheme and Benjamin cashed in. We'll talk about the Russians' meltdown and the gate-crashing photographer who's just taken his seat. There's a buzz around Carlos Alcaraz. Will the fresh fade give King Carlos the edge? The keys to New York won't be given to Madison as the Australian Open champ bowed out. Surprise winners from Mexico, the Philippines and Hong Kong prove tennis is truly a global sport. That's all ahead with me, Adrian Manarino, Brett Thomas, and the Snappy Snapper, who was sent packing from New York. We have an exclusive interview with the man who's had his accreditation revoked. No, we don't. His name is Anthony Morabito from Tennis Plus. Welcome, Ant.
Thank you, Brett. Thank you for having me, and welcome to the Tennis Podcast.
Thank you for playing the fall guy. I'm actually starting to feel sorry for that photographer. He has said that he feels the world is now crashing down upon him. I'm not sure it was deliberate that he walked on the court. I feel he thought that the match was over.
Yeah, we've all made mistakes, I feel. But also probably don't walk on a tennis court when the players are still there. But you live and learn.
You do. You live and you learn. We will talk about that in our segment Stocks Up, Stocks Down, Wall Street, New York. You were a former accountant as well. But let's talk about the matches of the round. Started on a Sunday, so falling into line with the other slams like the Australian Open. Played over 3 days. What match in particular caught your eye?
Yes, the match I've chosen is the Claudia Thorsen versus Alexandra Eala match. 6-3, 2-6, 7-6, 13-11 in the tiebreak to Eala. It was a stunning comeback by the Filipina. After being 5-1 down in the third set, she came all the way back to make it 6-5, and then Thorsen held serve to force the tiebreak. And the crowd in this match was very pro Eala, booing some of Thorsen's points, double faults. How do you think that affects the opposition player when the crowd is really going for just one player?
Yeah, fans of Clara Thorsen will know what she's kind of like in terms of her moods on court. She's the 14 seed from Denmark, but some of her drop shot winners, the most nonchalant I've ever seen. Her head was down. She's walking to the next point. So didn't seem in that kind of right frame of mind, whether that was the crowd getting on top of her. But in the end, we actually did see some nerves from Eala with 5 match points. She was struggling to close that out.
Yeah, that's right. It's always tough to close out a Grand Slam match. But yeah, she did have the crowd behind her, and I really felt that got her over the line and really impacted Thorsen as well. But yeah, there's Filipino fans all over the world, and there must be plenty in New York because that crowd sounded like it was a US player playing rather than a Filipino.
Well, we're on Tennis Plus, which you helped launch in January, and one of the big audiences is coming from the Philippines, which must be, in a lot of ways, because of this player, this star on the rise.
Yes, it is actually. They're our number 2 audience currently at the moment. Big shout out. Hello to everyone watching in the Philippines. And I'm hoping for AO26 that Eala gets a good draw and can get through to a few matches so I can play them on repeat as much as I can. But I'm a big fan of hers, and yeah, just really love that a tennis player from a different part of the world that we don't usually see have tennis stars really kind of growing the sport in their own country, which I think is really good for the game of tennis.
Yeah, we've had a player from Mexico, from Hong Kong. We're going to talk about that in Stocks Up, Stocks Down. But from Southeast Asia, we don't see a lot of players break through. Paradon Srichapan was a cult figure, you might call him, from the 90s and 2000s. So it's great for Australia, for this region, because the Australian Open is the Grand Slam of Asia Pacific. So let's hope that she's in good form come January as well.
Yeah, definitely. I'll be watching for her matches, definitely. Big fan.
Yeah, so she's popular, but no doubt I think you could almost say the most popular player in the US might be Coco Gauff, 2023 champion, and she had a really tricky matchup today, which is on Tuesday. We're recording this Wednesday in Australia. This was Tuesday night in the US. But Ajla Tomljanovic is not an easy player to come up against in New York.
No, she's not. She's shown in the past that she can really deliver in the US. We can go all the way back to 2023 when she knocked out Serena in her final match ever at the US Open and her career, actually. So she's definitely shown can take the pressure of a US crowd. And I thought she did pretty well today. But I just felt as though that crowd really got her over the line in the end. And we'll talk about Coco's serve. I know you've got some stats on that. But it's not really all it's been cracked up to be.
Yeah, well, I mean, she made a big move before the tournament started, split with her coach, Matt Daly, brought in Gavin McMillan, who'd actually worked with Arina Sabalenka. He's a biomechanical coach and specialising in serving, was able to help Sabalenka eliminate some of her double faults, and that's been an issue for Coco. She had 23 double faults at the Canadian Open, so clearly that's on her mind, whether it's obviously technical, which he might be working with, and then the mental side of the game. She had 10 double faults in this match against Aya. Aya had 7. She did serve out the final game of that match quite well, but I think this is going to be a talking point, just, whether her serve is going to be a liability, Ant, I think.
Yeah, no, you did say she did serve out the match, but the game before she had the opportunity to serve out, and the first 2 points of that game, she served 2 double faults in a row, which is obviously pressure, but then you've got the pressure and then you've also got to deal with your biomechanics, and it would be all in her head, just trying to, it would just keep building and building and building. And I would be really tough, especially in that environment. But she ended up being broken that game, but then she came back and won the last 2 matches to get through.
Well, we heard Thanasi Kokkinakis on the last episode of the tennis talk about, what a risky kind of move this is in terms of changing your technique, if indeed that's what they're working on. Maybe her coach is like, let's just talk about the mental side of the game, give her some confidence as opposed to tweaking things, but that's a question only Coco can answer. But she's in comfortable surrounds. This is a tournament she's won before. And let's hope she goes deep because, as we said, she is a crowd favourite at Flushing Meadows. All right, it is time now for Stocks Up, Stocks Down, Ant, which is right in your strike zone because you are a former accountant. New York, Wall Street, rolling with the theme here. Let's start with King Carlos and his buzz cut. Ant, up or down on the fresh fade?
I like it. He's always usually comes to a Grand Slam and everyone's talking about what haircut he's going to have. And then in 2 weeks, his hair just grows back to normal. So, I really like the nice number 0 cut he's done there. I think I heard his brother cut his hair. So,
yeah, right.
I wouldn't get my brother to cut my hair. But,
a buzz cut, you might be safe, I think.
Even him, I wouldn't even trust him with a buzz cut. So, shout out to my brother Nick there.
Well, I've gone with the buzz cut, although I don't have a lot of buzz to cut. So,
yeah,
you could say maybe it's more the Nikolai Davydenko look or Adrian Manarino, as we said from the top. But you're a positive guy, so you would like to start with Stocks Up. What is your first Stocks Up from the tournament so far?
So my Stocks Up are players from not your typical strongholds winning through to the second round of the US Open. So we had Renata Zazua from Mexico beat Madison Keys 6-7, 7-6, 7-5. Had Janice Tijen from Indonesia beat Victoria Kudermetova 6-4, 4-6, 6-4. Zeynep Sonmez from Turkey beating Katie Volinet 6-3, 6-4. And Coleman Wong from Hong Kong defeated Alexander Kovacevic 6-4, 7-5, 7-6. So all those 4 players there, not from your typical countries that are really known for their tennis.
Yeah, and catching some of the higher ranked players off guard as well. Coleman Wong, you mentioned him, 173 in the world, got through in straight sets against a player from the US. First men's player from Hong Kong to win a Grand Slam singles match in the Open era. And he plays Adam Walton next from Australia tomorrow. So a chance to go even further. That's a great story.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, Brett, if you could choose to have a few players from some countries that are underrepresented, what kind of countries do you think would really help make tennis a truly global sport?
Well, we talked about Southeast Asia, but how about somebody from India, which I guess is a part of Asia, isn't it? But that's a huge market. We've seen some champions in doubles, of course, as well, but maybe a player to break through on the singles.
Yeah, definitely for singles. They've had a few good doubles players in the past with Bopana and Mirza. But yeah, a singles player I really feel like would be huge for the sport.
What do you think, Ant? Give us a country.
I'm thinking more, let's go maybe somewhere in Africa, maybe like Nigeria or Ivory Coast.
Could be a prince there who has a tennis court. Ivory Coast.
Ivory Coast, yeah. No, I was just thinking yeah, somewhere from Africa, because we've got a few players like Ons is from Tunisia, more
Yep.
your northern Africa, and we've had a few
South
great
Africans.
South African players in the past. But yeah, that sort of few countries of Africa which really haven't produced anyone yet. But hopefully one day we can see, yeah, someone from the middle part of Africa,
Yep.
really representing tennis.
Yep. Well, my first stocks up is Frances Tiafoe's apparel sponsor. And he has 20 shirts in his bag courtside, and apparently he wore 6 of them in a straight sets win over Nishioka.
Do you think he does his own washing?
I think not. I think that's why he has 20. That's my trick. You just have a fresh shirt for every day of the week, but not every change of ends, which is what he might be doing. But it's great for his sponsor because they're getting a lot of airtime. And maybe if it kind of sweats, I don't know if it kind of fades out the logo, if that had something to do with it. But
Well, yeah, you want to hope that the top can take a player playing tennis, because if not, then maybe he shouldn't be wearing those shirts. But I've noticed in a few of Tiafoe's matches, he does usually like to take a lot of clothes on court.
Yep.
And and also a match I'm just thinking of that I have shown on Tennis Plus. His clothes were spread all over his side of the court, all over the chair. So maybe look to tidy up a little bit as well on his seat there on the side of the court.
And Carlos Alcaraz, just to come back to him, the burgundy or the plum or the grape outfit, I know you're a big fan of that. Is that stocks up for you,
It's
the haircut
very,
and the outfit?
Alcaraz is killing it so far in the tournament, and getting a good win as well over Opelka.
Yep.
But yeah, that shirt he put on for his post-match interview, I'd buy that.
Okay.
Definitely.
Nice. It was sort of a velour style tracksuit top, which was a bit different, but he can do what he wants.
That's right. Probably maybe seen more in the 70s for maybe some tennis players there, but I say bring it back. Love velour.
Anything else in your stocks up?
I've got, Emma Raducanu winning her first match since she won the US Open in 2021. Yeah, really good to see her finally getting another breakthrough there, because when she won, it was amazing. And then, she really hasn't really hit those heights since. So hopefully she can continue.
Yeah, it's crazy that she hasn't actually won a match, not even one round at the US Open since winning it. That's unbelievable.
Yeah, it is unbelievable, but I'm hoping she does pretty well in the next round. And actually, she will be playing the Indonesian player Janice Chen in the second round. So I'll be tuned into that one.
Okay, that's stocks up. Let's go with stocks down. I want to start with Madison Keys. You talked about her opponent from Mexico, but 89 unforced errors, a set and 3 love up, and ends up losing.
Yeah, it's not great for the American hopeful, and especially after playing so well at AO 25. She was playing unbelievable tennis to win that Grand Slam. She's going through the likes of Collins, Rybakina, Svitolina, Swiatek, and Sabalenka, and it's really unfortunate she couldn't replicate anything like that in her home slam.
Yeah, Svitolina, you mentioned there's another seed that's been knocked out in the first round. So, unfortunate for Madison. I don't think she'd had great lead-up form in the US hardcourt swing. So she goes out in the first round and just said that the pressure ate her up. She had such a big lead, and then to lose like that, really unfortunate. Controversial one for you, because I know she's been a great story in terms of Venus Williams at 45, but should she be getting a wild card, or should that go to the next Venus Williams, to even a young American? Because Venus won't be playing any other Grand Slam. She'll only ever play in the US.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with this. I think she deserves to get wild cards until she does eventually decide to retire. She's an icon of the sport. The people want to see her. They put her on Arthur Ashe. So obviously the fans want to see her. She did well. She took a set off Muchova, which is a good effort because Muchova's no slouch. I think, I'm happy to give her wild cards at the US Open until she really wants to retire. As long as she fills the seats, I think the US Open's not going to have a problem with it. And I don't have a problem with it either.
Yeah, and clearly, you look at what they've done with the mixed doubles. They're all about, maximising viewership and fan attendance. So clearly Venus Williams does that. You could argue that for Muchova as well, it's an opponent that she would prefer to face, a stronger opponent first up, rather than a wild card that she might have a really easy win against.
Yeah, exactly. Muchova would be happy with the way she performed. And, as I've been saying throughout this pod, the crowd really does get involved. And, a US player against someone not from the US, the crowd's really going to be against you. So I'm pretty sure in her post-match interview she mentioned that, the crowd was really on Venus's side, and it just really, shows to the testament of like the mentality of a player that they can, overcome that and get through the next round.
Okay, we talked about it at the very beginning. You're dressed up like the photographer. Daniil Medvedev is in our stocks down, losing to Benjamin Bonzi, who cashed in at 6-3, 7-5. Then the third set is when it almost fell apart for him. Had match points. The photographer comes in and the chair umpire, quite rightly, says when a point is being interfered with, you replay the point, not replay the serve. What did you make of Daniil's performance?
Oh, well, first of all, I'd never seen anything like that watching tennis.
Even from Daniil?
Well, I've seen something like that from Daniil, but not quite as bad as it got in that third set. I understand his frustrations, I suppose. I mean, he was looking like he was going to lose the match anyway, and then I figured, was he trying to stay on court just that bit longer, give the fans a bit more time? But
I think trying to whip himself back in, like change the momentum of the match, get himself back into it, which worked. I do think, though, that umpire, or even Benjamin Bonzi, could have just looked at the umpire and said, I'm going to serve. I'm just going to put this ball in play because Daniil is wasting time. And I heard on one of the commentators, mention that there should have been a code violation there for Daniil, but the umpire looked a little, shocked as to what was going on and didn't quite know what to do.
Yeah, the umpire, he was rattled. And I really feel for the umpire as well because he's got Medvedev in his face. He's got the crowd completely out of control. And, I don't know what he can really do in that situation. You can't eject every person in the crowd making noise. That 6-minute break, I know here in the office we're watching it. We all were tuning in just trying to work out what is actually going on. And, I've never seen anything like that.
Yeah, so Daniil goes up to the chair umpire and then he's debating the point. Why did we have to replay the first serve? And then he's screaming at him into the camera, what did Riley Opelka say? So before we get to the rest of Stocks Down, here's our new random segment. It might only last this one episode. What did Riley Opelka say?
Pretty similar to most guys I see in the locker room. I think most guys, he's very friendly, so he's very outgoing, and he's a talkative guy. So I think most of us have a good relationship with him. I don't really have any bad things to say about the guy. It's always been a pleasant interaction with him, and I've always seen him in a good mood.
Riley doesn't seem in a good mood there, but looking forward to getting Riley Opelka's thoughts throughout the tournament, perhaps on other random things like Taylor Swift getting engaged, Dan.
Yes, congratulations to the happy couple.
And Daniil.
Yes, no, one thing I wanted to add is with his behaviour, from that third set, just really, I don't think you really should be behaving like that. You're 29 years old, you're a dad. You really have to set an example now. There's I guess tennis players are known to sort of behave like that in the past, but he should be embarrassed, I feel.
He's had a terrible year on the Grand Slam Tour. I think he's only won one match, so that might also explain what we saw against Bonzi. All right, let's change ends here, Ant, and we'll come back with a preview of next round.
Welcome back to this tennis mini episode. Brett, we're going to talk about matchups for the next round. What match are you most looking forward to?
Yeah, good job there, Ant. We've changed ends and roles. I like Alexi Popyrin and Yannick Sinner. Alexi Popyrin, Australian. We spoke about South Africans earlier. Wayne Ferreira is his coach, and he's done well at the US Open before. He has beaten Novak Djokovic, of course. He got through fairly comfortably today in straight sets against Emil Rassafuri. But Yannick Sinner, only a player he's played once before, Ant.
Yeah, and what was the result of that match?
So that was 4 years ago. They played on clay in Madrid, and Popyrin won. So I don't think we can read anything into that form. But for Yannick Sinner, obviously they're not a player he's too familiar with. So perhaps he could catch him off guard and had to pull out of the final in Cincinnati because he was ill. So we'll see how he goes against Alexi.
Yeah, I don't like Alexi's chances in this match.
No?
If he can win a set, that'd be a good effort by
A set?
Alexi. But Sinner is just another level at
He
the
is.
moment.
Yep, yeah, and he won 6-1, 1-2 against Vit Kopriva. So in outstanding form. Looks like that illness is now behind him. What is the match you are most looking forward to in the second round?
I'm most looking forward to Maya Joint versus Amanda Anisimova. Maya Joint from Australia has been rising through the ranks. So in 2023, she was 738 in the world. and now she's currently ranked 42. So a great climb by her to get right up the rankings, and straight into the US Open draw this year. And she's up against Anisimova, who want to have a good showing at the US Open after a Wimbledon final performance. And I really can't pick this one. I'm not sure who'll win at all.
Yeah, well, Maya Joint, as you said, got her first win at Grand Slam level at the US Open, but had to forfeit the majority of the prize money because she was a college athlete, lived in the States until she was 16, then moved to Australia. Her dad is Australian. So, yeah, she obviously feels really good in New York. She's through to the second round again, and you'd say that she's a big chance in this match. I don't think she's going to have a lot of fear coming up against Amanda Anisimova, knowing that nerves can get to her as well.
That's right. She may have the same issue that Eala Tomljanovic had with that American crowd. Will be right on Anisimova's side. But, I really think she can pull through. If I had to pick, I probably would pick her in this match. But
okay,
we'll just have to wait and see.
All right, so you are going for Yannick easily over Popyrin and Maya Joint over Anisimova. I'll back the Aussie as well. We are recording this in Australia, of course, at Podlaver Arena. So let's back the Aussie over Yannick Sinner, or at least take it to 5 sets, and Maya Joint, which would be an upset against a Wimbledon finalist, of course. Thank you, Ant, for helping us review round one.
Thank you. No, thank you for having me. Yeah, my first time on a podcast, so I think I went okay.
We'll be back.
Can you tell it was my first time?
Oh, it was very good. It's first time for everyone.
Yeah.
I think Daria Saville will be joining us. We'll be back Thursday in the US if you're watching it there, Friday in Australia on the Tennis Mini. That will be episode 2 after round 2 in New York.
Hey everyone, Harps and Andy here. Just want to remind you that you can watch every episode of The Tennis on our YouTube channel, Australian Open TV.
And we have an email as well, podcast@tennis.com.au. If you thought the show was amazing or you thought it was terrible, we are keen to hear from you. We'll read it. So feedback, comments, whatever it is, get in touch with us at our email and we'll catch you on the next one.
Catch you later.